right. So thank you, Mr. Chairman. Social Security is a promise. You pay in year after year, and then when you need it at the end, it will always, always, always be there for you. But we've got 6 years now ahead of us before the Social Security Trust Fund faces insolvency, meaning that retirees could see their benefits slashed by 22%. Congress needs to act to make sure that doesn't happen. And this is why Democrats are fighting to protect and expand Social Security benefits funded by the wealthiest Americans paying their fair share. But so far, congressional Republicans like to pretend that the only solution is benefit cuts. And when they see how unpopular that is, they then try to pivot and say, let's set up a commission to make the cuts, because then maybe the voters won't blame the Republicans for it. Now, Ms. Lamont, your organization, AARP, represents millions of seniors. Right now, they're seeing skyrocketing prices for everything from healthcare to gas to groceries. Ms. Lamont, if Social Security checks already aren't keeping up with inflation, what happens if they're cut by 22%?
Well, Senator, thank you for the question. And of course, it would be devastating to our constituency. And that 22% cut, if you get the minimum benefit, is already $400. So think about that in terms of people and their daily expenses. We're hearing more and more from our members, not only about the kind of cost of living, kitchen table economics right now, but also long-term as they think about Social Security.
Yeah. So look, here's a better idea. How about we make the wealthy pay into Social Security at the same rate that working families pay into Social Security? Right now, the Social Security payroll tax is capped at $184,500 in income. That means if you're a nurse or you're a construction worker, you're paying Social Security on 100% of your income. But if you're a corporate lawyer raking in millions, you're only paying Social Security on a tiny little fraction of your income. That is not right. That is why Senator Moreno and I have called for Congress to scrap the cap on payroll taxes. That one reform alone would impact about 6% of all households, the highest earning Americans, and would protect Social Security benefits for at least 2 decades. So, Ms. Lamont, do you agree that securing benefits by scrapping the cap on payroll taxes would help seniors?
Well, you've described what we hear a great deal from our seniors, and in our position, which is please don't cut benefits, we know we have to look for sources of revenue, and we hear all the time from people about is it fair that I'm paying on all of my wages and somebody down the street isn't. Sometimes they use examples of people that work in nonprofits even.
There you go. There you go. So that's not all we could do. While working class families pay into Social Security on every paycheck, wealthy investors take advantage of loopholes to avoid paying into the trust fund. For example, if you're an investor in a hedge fund, you can pay yourself millions of dollars in profits each year without paying anything into Social Security. Now, Ms. Vallis, you're an expert in Social Security and disability policy. Do you agree that securing benefits by closing these loopholes that are available pretty much only for wealthy investors would help seniors and Americans with disabilities who rely on Social Security?
If those forms of revenue do end up being looked at as solvency options, we will see huge protection for people whose benefits wouldn't be cut, including seniors and people with disabilities. And just to note, depending on how you structure it, you could also end up seeing sufficient revenues to strengthen benefits for some of those folks who aren't well served, something you and others have proposed doing as well.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate it. Look, I just think Congress has a choice to make. Either we can decide to protect the top 6% of all earners in America and let the Social Security Trust Fund get into trouble, cut benefits for seniors, throw more seniors into poverty, or we can decide that everybody pays the same share and protects Social Security forever into the future. Thank you all for being here.
Senator Elizabeth Warren's argument in this hearing centers on a question that has been at the heart of American politics for decades: who should bear the responsibility for keeping Social Security financially strong? Rather than framing the issue as one of reducing benefits for retirees, Warren argues that the country should instead ask the wealthiest Americans to contribute more into the system. It's a debate about priorities, fairness, and the future of one of the most popular government programs in the United States.